Etymology of the phrase chalk/chalk it up and its connection to the pun, I chalk that up. The power of language is oft transcribed as the ability to communicate complex ideas down into simpler forms. Such is arguably the basis of the concept of sentience, for without the ability to communicate complex thoughts and theories, we are no better than the base grubs found beneath the earth. One of these concepts that transcends Homo sapiens sapiens from our beastly idiocy is the concept of humor, defined in this essay as the emotional feeling of joy, connection to a shared understanding of a situation or concept. Difficult to describe, as the ability to comprehend the definition of humor is ultimately homoousian, built into itself. To understand this concept, we will use the example of chalk/chalk it up to the statement previously made by one Carter J. First, we define our theoretical framework. For proper context, on 10:10 a.m. Central Standard Time, in the Boo Crew 1243 group chat, A.M. Carter J. formally requested of manager Micah Stradcutter for a supply of chalk markers. In this case, as the nature of the argument is defined upon the definition of chalk markers, Carter J. was presumably referring to the chalk markers that we use in our name tags. After reading that message, I, the writer, made a simple jape. Is chalk that up coming up with a really good question for the board? In this case, I was referring to the board upon which we write and encourage customers to answer simple questions each week that had recently been very popular, as seen by the sheer number of responses on each question. Afterwards, Becca H. responded with a clear, "What are you saying?" and upon a failed attempt to explain the point, led to this essay. Now we break apart the joke in question. We will assume a priori that the reader is familiar with the English language and simple words, so we will not define each word in the statement. The main statement can be broken into two parts. Firstly, the well-known lexiconal statement, chalk it up, and the wordplay of the word chalk. Chalk it up, or chalk it up, is an old English phrase believed to be based upon the old tradition of restaurants or bars writing a customer's outstanding charges upon the wall, presumably using chalk, a writing utensil composed principally of calcium carbonate, CaCO3, that leaves a marking when pressure is applied into a writing surface, which coincidentally is the next piece, as the wordplay is based around the juxtaposition of chalk to our need of chalk. Further. Now on to the explanation of the wordplay, by using the known phrase chalk it up to refer to myself assuming where the chalk markers went and juxtaposing it to the fact that the subject missing is in fact chalk in and of itself, creates a humorous fiction as a shared connection can be found between these two concepts, creating a simple and quaint pun. Truly a sublime transcription. However, as astute readers may have already noticed, there is a distinct contradiction to this thesis, as I, the writer, am referring to chalk as the traditional calcium carbonate white cylinder, but Carter J. was referring to the chalk markers. And so, like Icarus flying close to the sun, my ignorance was my downfall. Furthermore, confusion is drawn towards my transcription of the joke, as I intended to write, I'd chalk that up to us coming with real good questions for the board. However, due to a minor spelling error from my broken finger, damn you frail body, is this fleshy homunculi not a true hell enough? Created further confusion, as what was supposed to be a simple pronominal contraction was mistaken for the verb is, and I am truly sorry for that confusion. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. And so at the end we examine what has been previously written within the context of the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, as the ability to understand the humor written within my transcription is a mere reflection of how I perceive and interpret the world, and though difficult to transcribe, the exercise upon itself is a helpful examination into how we examine the context of humor within our lives. Perhaps, or maybe I'll just chalk it up to my humor being weird. Citations: Yanira Vargas, Washington State University, Common Errors in English Usage and More Chalk It Up Comments, 31st of May 2016, bryans.wsu.edu/2016/05/31/chalk it up. And Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis, Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis, an overview, Science Direct Topics, www.sciencedirect.com/topics/psychology/Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis.